Good morning, everyone. Right now, it is Friday, 6 a.m., and I'm going to try to get back to doing these videos. I've actually tried to record probably about 3 times now, but I haven't really been happy with the videos. But I'm just going to get back to what I know how to do, which is kind of do these vlogs and more of the documentation style videos. So even if I take a losing trade today, I'm still going to post this. So anyway, what are we up to at the moment? February's gone really well. February has gone well. So we took a winner on last week, and then we took a loser on last week, which I was really happy with. One winner and one loser is actually a great outcome for the end of the week. And then this week, we've taken a winner on Monday and a loser on Tuesday. Which, oh man, the loser on Tuesday was kind of unnecessary to take. I mean, I definitely could have had that a winner, not even a break even or whatever. Or it wasn't even like a situation of there wasn't even a trade there. For me, Tuesday was more of if I just waited 2 more minutes for price to play out, I could have got a way better entry, and I could have stayed in the trade and not got stopped out. Because my problem is, and I think this is some good advice, maybe for some people they can learn off this, if you've got your entry, or if all your confluences have been met, so for me, liquidity sweep, market structure shift, but my final confluence, which is a fair value gap, getting hit, if that fair value gap isn't getting hit and I'm not getting my entry, and we get a huge move up, what I don't want to do is enter after a huge move up. And that's what I did on Tuesday. Price moved up. I didn't get my entry because no fair value gap got retraced into. But I think FOMO kind of kicked in. And as soon as the fair value gap got retraced into, I was like, oh fuck, let's get in now. Otherwise it's going to keep taking off. But I should know, and I do know, back testing. What I want to do is draw my equilibrium from the 1 minute low to the 1 minute high that's been made from a huge move. And I want to see price draw at least close to a discounted zone before entering, or even draw down close to the area. Maybe we don't hit the discounted zone and then we look for a new fair value gap that's been made. Although it is annoying, I'm not making big fuck ups anymore. For the last 2 weeks anyway. I haven't been overtrading, which is a big one because for me, January was a decent month. The first half of January I had more fuck ups than the first half of February, but it was going better than December, which is what matters, right? You want each month. I mean, at this stage I'm at, I don't want to see consistent profits. I just want to see consistent improvements. And so January was a good month, but the thing that fucked up January was there was one occasion at the start of January where I overtraded, and a second occasion at the end of January where I also overtraded. And those days where I choose to overtrade, and this, everyone should learn this, the days I choose to overtrade are the days that fuck up. I can be up I only risk 0.5% at the moment. I think I was 3% up on the month, which is, I'm happy with that for 0.5% risk. 3% up on the month. One day, out. So, it's just important that I'm not making any major fuck-ups like that, ever. Like, ever. Never, ever be making big fuck-ups like that. Like taking a second or a third trade. Even a second trade is really bad, but a third and a fourth trade is terrible. And for me, I find I'm taking these extra trades when I have nothing better to do. So, for example, my back was very painful. I injured it in the gym. Basically, I was like, right, I'm going to take the day off school because I literally couldn't put my socks on. Like, it was painful, very painful to put my socks on, and I wanted a day off school. So I thought, oh, okay, we'll just trade. We'll trade. Because it's not really fucking with my mind, it's just my back's hurting. Still sit in a chair and trade. That was the issue. Because that was all I had to do that day. I couldn't really do anything else that day. I was just sat in my chair. And it was so painful to get up that I couldn't really be bothered getting up. And that fucked up my trading. That's kind of an extremist example of how my overtrading starts. But if I don't have anything else to do, like school, I fucking hate school at the moment, but the one positive to that, even though it's, in my opinion, a bit of a waste of time for me at the moment, it does stop me from overtrading. The thing is, like, if I have days off, because the next week I do have a school holiday, February half term, I just need to bear in mind I always need a backup plan. Or not even a backup plan, I always need to plan something. Whether that's, so next week, whether that's cardio at the gym, because I don't really like training in the morning. So, cardio in the gym, dog walk, probably not editing a video because just anything off my chair, you know? Ideally out the house. So I need to plan that kind of stuff in for next week. But I think we've done enough yapping. I'm going to go continue my morning, and then I'll make sure we do pre-market analysis. I've already taken one trade, but there was only 30 risk on the trade, so I'm willing to take another for like 20 £20 of risk. This was the trade I took off this fair value gap. My stop was here, TP there, and it barely worked me out, but I'm not annoyed about I'm not really annoyed about where I had my stop loss. It was a good placement, but it's just unfortunate. Why did I take it? On the hour, we've had that be hit. Liquidity swept. Feel like it's going to go down. Try rebalance some of these gaps that are being made after a huge push up yesterday. I don't know, it's back on. And so if we get another setup presenting itself, because we de-risked that previous trade, I'm willing to get in again for not much risk. Especially considering on Monday. I might wait till market open, so another minute. Yeah, we're gonna wait a minute. Oh, yep, we've instantly been stopped out. Okay. Wait, no. We actually haven't. Missed it by about that much. If we lose this, we're off. I'm just shutting everything down. We're de-risked again. We've literally got £16 of risk, but we'll see what happens. Could have literally been a TP by now from the first trade if we didn't get stopped out by a pip, but what can you do? Oh, we're out. Okay. Okay, so obviously we lost both the trades yesterday. I was saying I wasn't going to take two, but I de-risked the first trade. We only had £30 of risk on the first trade, so I took a £20 risk on the second trade. My daily risk is 0.5%, which is 50 GBP. So I'm not too annoyed about that second trade, because we only lost as much as we are willing to lose. Anyway, we'll go into depth of why we lost the trades. Ultimately, it was a bit of a fuck up. I didn't record my pre-market analysis, but we'll just get into it now, and I'll show you guys. So, we're on the daily chart. You can see it's the weekend right now. But originally my bias was bullish. Originally it was very bullish. But my dumbass decided to change my bias just so I could take a trade. So, obviously the day ended up being green. Massive wick as well. But I'll show you guys what I meant by my bias originally being bullish. And honestly, when I first went on the charts, I went, this couldn't be much of a better setup. This is the best setup I think I've ever seen. So, 3 AM, right here. We ended up being bullish, as I predicted we would be at first. But here was my issue, which is why I decided to change my whole kind of bias, is we had this imbalance that We weren't inside, but you can see on the 2 a.m. candle, we were still really, you know, really close to it. We hadn't made a huge move out of it just yet. And you can also see we've swept sell side liquidity here. So I was like, there's nothing obstructing, there's no bearish confluences obstructing up until here. I was like, yeah, I really doubt it'll hit this point pre-market. What do you know? It sweeps this buy side pre-market. Just because a trade sweeps buy side liquidity does not mean I should be taking a short. It just means I shouldn't be taking a long until we get a new reason to take a long. Now, to be fair, we never actually did get a new reason to take a long, but the bias was so fucking bullish. Look at this, 4 hour, we were in this imbalance, so we weren't inside of it, market open, but we were close to it. We'd come into here. Daily, you know, we've now had a market structure shift. We've closed above this level. So, I mean, I've been seeing GBP USD is bullish for some time now, to be fair. Like most days my bias has just been bullish. But ultimately the issue was I changed my bias just so I could take a trade. I knew we were bullish, but I just was so desperate to take a trade. And to be fair, if we hadn't drawn up to here, this was such a nice trade. This was such a nice trade, but unfortunately we did draw up to there, and it did still play out, but it doesn't mean it's still valid in my eyes. So we can come on the 5 minute. You can see I was like, right, we've inversed this gap. This is the line of liquidity, where the draw of liquidity was. We've inversed that gap. We hadn't inversed that gap, but we had already inversed 2 gaps, including this one as well. So I was like, right, we will look for freaking shorts. Looking for shorts. So basically, I take the first fair value gap that gets drawn into here, stops above here, and TP was down there. We barely get stopped out. But because we had not used all our allocated risk for the day, I was like, fuck it, we'll get into another trade, wait till market open, we've got another imbalance, and obviously, you know, we get stopped out. We were actually still in the trade here. We got stopped out here. So, just to make that make more sense. Put that to that. So, yeah, it's annoying, but we only lost 50. Definitely was an avoidable loss. I think, I always seem to think all my losses are avoidable. I guess some losses, they are avoidable, but you know, human error. It's just about less. I need to be making less human error. And that'll just come with time, you know? Because you could be asking, oh, what can I do to speed up the process? What can I do? I know I just have to do it. I just have to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it until it fucking works out. Because I put too much time into this shit now to give up. I know every time I take a loss, I'm like, this was so obviously this was obviously this. My emotions got into play. I think my technical analysis is good enough. I think it's good enough to be profitable. It's definitely, you know, my psychology is getting in the way now. It's no surprise. But ultimately, we were break even on the week. We actually had we had like £10 profit, but yeah, we'll break even on the end of the week, which is kind of annoying to say, oh, at least I'm break even, but I am, you know, at least I'm break even, at least I'm not in a loss. But yeah, I don't want to be content with my break even stage. I definitely want to push out of it because sure, you're not losing anything, but at the same time, motherfucker, you haven't made anything, so it's nothing to celebrate. But school holidays, now I've got a week off. I'm definitely going to be making a video every day. There's no reason not to. And during the weekend, I'm literally fucking hibernating. I had 11 hours of sleep last night. I woke up at 12 o'clock. Yes, I fell asleep at 1. Whatever. It's a fucking Friday. So, just get through this weekend, do some fucking semi-productive stuff, and we'll be ready for the next week. Hopefully I get another 11 hours of sleep next fucking, or tonight. That's it for the video. The cut's starting in a week or two. So there'll be no more fucking bloat face. But apart from that, yeah, there's nothing really else to talk about. Join the Discord. And yeah.